Did you know that Halloween wasn't always about spooky costumes and candy? It's a holiday shrouded in mystery and intrigue. This celebration, steeped in tradition and folklore, holds more secrets than a haunted mansion. Its origins are as elusive as a ghost in the night, and the customs we've come to know and love, they're more surprising than a jack-o'-lantern's grin. So are you ready to uncover the hidden truths about Halloween? Buckle up for a thrilling journey. Halloween's roots trace back to an ancient Celtic festival known as Samhain. Now you might be thinking, what's this got to do with trick-or-treating and jack-o'-lanterns? Well, let's take a journey back in time to unravel the birth of Halloween. The Celts, who lived over 2,000 years ago in the area now known as Ireland, the United Kingdom, and northern France, celebrated their new year on November 1st. This day marked the end of the harvest season and the beginning of the dark, cold winter, a time of year often associated with human death. The Celts believed that on the night before the new year, the boundary between the worlds of the living and the dead became blurred. On the night of October 31st, they celebrated Samhain, when it was believed that the ghosts of the dead returned to Earth. During this time, the Celts thought that the presence of otherworldly spirits made it easier for the Druids or Celtic priests to predict the future. These prophecies were an integral source of comfort and direction during the long, dark winter. To commemorate the event, the Druids built huge sacred bonfires where people gathered to burn crops and animals as sacrifices to the Celtic deities. With the Roman Empire's expansion into Celtic territory around 43 AD, two Roman festivals were combined with the traditional Celtic celebration of Samhain. The first was Feralia, a day in late October when the Romans traditionally commemorated the passing of the dead. The second was a day to honor Pomona, the Roman goddess of fruit and trees. The apple, the symbol of Pomona, is likely the reason for our present-day Halloween tradition of bobbing for apples. So from a Celtic celebration marking the end of the harvest season, through Roman influence and a myriad of other cultural and religious shifts, we've arrived at the modern-day Halloween. As the years passed, Samhain evolved into the Halloween we know today, but not without some interesting twists and turns. Believe it or not, Halloween has undergone a massive transformation over the centuries. It all began as Samhain, an ancient Celtic festival marking the end of the harvest season and the onset of winter, a time of year often associated with human death. The Celts believed that on the night before the new year, the boundary between the worlds of the living and the dead became blurred. Fast forward to the Middle Ages, and Halloween was taking on a new form. It was during this period that the tradition of souling became popular. Children and the poor would go door to door, offering prayers for the dead in return for soul cakes from the wealthy. It was a solemn occasion with a strong emphasis on remembrance and prayer. Then came the Victorian era, a time of fascination with the supernatural and the macabre. Halloween celebrations during this period often involved divination games and rituals, believed to reveal one's future spouse or good fortune in the coming year. Ghost stories were also a big part of Victorian Halloween, with eerie tales told by candlelight. The 20th century saw Halloween become more of a community-centered holiday in America, with parades and town-wide parties. The tradition of trick-or-treating was revived in the 1950s, a practice that has its roots in the old custom of souling. It was during this time that Halloween started to lose its religious and supernatural connotations and began to be seen more as a holiday for fun and entertainment. And here we are in the 21st century, where Halloween has turned into a major commercial event. It's a time for costume parties, scary movies, haunted houses, and of course, trick-or-treating. Halloween has evolved from a somber pagan ritual to a night of merriment and fright, celebrated by millions around the world. So, next time you're carving a pumpkin or choosing a costume, remember that you're participating in a tradition that's been evolving for over 2,000 years. From ghostly gatherings to trick-or-treating, Halloween has certainly come a long way. Ever wondered why we carve pumpkins or dress up in costumes on Halloween? Let's unravel the mysteries behind these popular traditions. Let's start with the jack-o'-lanterns. The tradition of carving pumpkins originates from an old Irish folklore about a man named Stingy Jack, who tricked the devil not just once, but twice. When Jack died, he was denied entry to both heaven and hell, and was condemned to roam the earth with only a burning coal for light, which he put into a carved-out turnip. Irish immigrants brought this tale to America, where pumpkins, native to the land, proved to be a better canvas for these eerie lanterns. Next up, the tradition of dressing up in costumes. This custom also finds its roots in ancient Celtic traditions. During Samhain, a festival marking the end of the harvest season, it was believed that the boundaries between the living and the dead blurred. To ward off any wandering spirits, people would dress up in costumes and masks, mimicking the malevolent spirits to avoid harm. Finally, let's address the sweetest tradition of all, trick-or-treating. This custom can be traced back to a medieval practice called souling. On All Souls' Day, the poor would go door to door, offering prayers for the dead in exchange for soul cakes. Over time, this evolved into children going from house to house asking for food or money, and eventually candy. So whether you're carving a menacing face into a pumpkin, donning a spooky costume, or knocking on doors for a handful of treats, remember that these traditions have deep roots. They've evolved over centuries from different cultures and beliefs to form the Halloween we know and love today. These traditions might seem strange, but they're all part of the rich tapestry that makes up Halloween. Halloween isn't just celebrated in the United States. It has made its mark around the globe. Let's embark on a journey to explore how this spooky holiday is celebrated in different corners of the world, each with unique traditions and practices. First stop, Mexico. Here, Halloween takes a back seat to Dia de los Muertos, or the Day of the Dead. It's a 3-day celebration that kicks off on October 31st. But it's not about scares and frights. Instead, it's a time to honor deceased loved ones with vibrant marigold decorations, sugar skulls, and special bread called pan de muerto. Next, we find ourselves in Ireland, the birthplace of Halloween, with ancient roots dating back to the Celtic festival of Samhain. The Irish light bonfires, play games, and even set an extra place at the dinner table in memory of departed family members. And don't forget the barmbrack, a type of fruitcake that serves as a fortune-telling game. Now let's jet across the globe to Japan, where the Obon Festival, also known as the Festival of Lanterns, takes place. While not exactly Halloween, this summer event shares similar themes of honoring the departed. Lanterns are lit, floating down rivers and seas, guiding the spirits of ancestors back to the other world. In Italy, they celebrate La Notte del Streghe, or the Night of the Witches, in the summer. Villagers dress up and light huge bonfires to ward off evil spirits. And let's not forget about China's Hungry Ghost Festival. It's a time when it's believed the gates of hell open and ghosts are free to roam the earth. People offer food and burn joss paper to appease these wandering spirits. From honoring the dead to warding off evil spirits, Halloween celebrations vary greatly around the world. It's a fascinating glimpse into how different cultures interpret and celebrate this mysterious and enchanting holiday. So wherever you find yourself on October 31st, remember, you're part of a global celebration of mystery, memory, and the macabre. Halloween is a time for sharing spine-chilling stories, and we'd love to hear yours. Every Halloween, we all become a part of a grand, worldwide narrative, don't we? A narrative woven with tales of eerie encounters, mischievous pranks, and of course, the most outrageous costumes. Now it's your turn to add to this fascinating tapestry. Perhaps you have a Halloween tradition that's been passed down in your family for generations, or maybe a unique way of carving that pumpkin, or could it be a ghostly encounter that still gives you goosebumps? Whatever it is, we're all ears. Remember that time when you dressed up as the most terrifying creature and scared the living daylights out of your friends? Oh, what a hoot that must have been. Or the year when you received the most candy ever. That must have felt like hitting the jackpot. And let's not forget those Halloween parties that went on till the wee hours, filled with laughter, shrieks, and of course, the monster mash. What was your most memorable Halloween party? What made it so special? All these experiences, these stories are what make Halloween such a unique and exciting celebration, full of intrigue and mystery, so why not share yours? You never know, your story might just become a part of someone else's Halloween tradition. So what's your Halloween story? Share it with us in the comments below, and remember, there's always more to uncover about this fascinating holiday.